What if the ordinary penny sitting in your pocket right now is quietly carrying a story most people will never notice? Look closer. That worn copper-colored disc from 2001 is not just loose change. It is a tiny piece of American history that millions handled without ever really seeing. And right now, somewhere, a collector is turning one over under bright light, searching for the details that turn everyday metal into something worth keeping. This is the 2001 Lincoln Memorial Cent. At first glance, it looks like every other penny, but the longer you study it, the more it starts to feel different. The weight of time is on it. The scratches, the soft glow of age, the quiet presence of a man whose face has watched over American currency for more than a century. Abraham Lincoln still faces right on the obverse, exactly as Victor David Brenner designed him in 1909. In God we trust arches above his head. Liberty sits quietly to the left. The date 2001 rests below his shoulder like a silent marker of a specific year. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands in solemn columns, framed by the words United States of America, a pluribus unum, and 1 cent. It is the final full decade of that memorial design before the series changed forever in 2009. Most people never look past the date. That is the first hidden detail. The second is the mint mark, or the complete lack of one. Philadelphia coins carry no letter at all. Denver coins show a small, sharp D. Proof coins from San Francisco carry an ace. These tiny marks decide part of the story. Circulation strikes from 2001 are common. Billions were made. Yet high-grade examples, especially those that somehow escaped heavy use, still draw quiet interest from collectors who chase perfect surfaces and sharp details. Condition is everything in this world. A heavily worn 2001 cent is still just 1 cent, but an uncirculated piece with full original luster, clean fields, and a strong strike can move into the realm of genuine collector value. Graded coins in MS-67 or higher from the major services sometimes sell for several dollars to tens of dollars, depending on eye appeal and the market of the moment. No dramatic lottery tickets here, no fantasy prices, just the honest reality that beauty and preservation still matter deeply in coin collecting. There are also the small things most eyes miss completely. The way the columns of the memorial catch light at certain angles. The tiny texture on Lincoln's coat and hair, the faint remnants of original mint red that sometimes survive on carefully stored pieces. These are the details that make a coin feel alive instead of dead metal. When you hold one under good light and tilt it slowly, the surface can suddenly come alive with color and depth that most people never notice. Collectors do not only chase rarity, they chase connection. A 2001 cent can pull someone back to a specific year, maybe the year a child was born, a move across the country, a first job, or a quiet moment of personal change. Holding one becomes a small act of memory. That emotional weight is real. It is why people keep jars of pennies long after the practical reason has faded. The coin becomes a silent witness to ordinary lives. Imagine the atmosphere of that year for a moment. The turn of a new century still felt fresh. Technology was accelerating faster than ever. Everyday life moved quicker, and yet this little copper-plated zinc disc kept the same design that had already served the nation for decades. It was continuity in a time of rapid change. That contrast is part of its quiet power. While the world rushed forward, the penny remained steady, carrying Lincoln's face and the memorial's columns into millions of hands every single day. Now look at your own 2001 cent if you have one nearby. Turn it slowly between your fingers. Feel the edge. Watch how the light moves across Lincoln's profile and the columns of the memorial. Ask yourself what this particular piece has seen. How many hands held it? How many cash registers it passed through? How close it came to being lost forever in a couch cushion or a parking lot or a forgotten drawer. That is the real story, not inflated claims, not invented errors, just the slow, honest accumulation of time on a common coin that somehow survived long enough for someone to notice it again. The 2001 Lincoln Memorial Cent does not shout for attention. It waits. It rewards the person who pauses long enough to really look. Coin collecting is full of these quiet moments. A person picks up a piece of change, pauses for a second longer than usual, and suddenly sees more than face value. The 2001 cent rewards that pause. It asks for attention. It rewards curiosity. It reminds us that history does not only live in museums or expensive display cases. Sometimes it lives in the bottom of a drawer, the corner of a wallet, or the change returned after buying a cup of coffee. There is something deeply human about that. In a world that moves faster every year, these small copper discs still carry the weight of continuity. They connect us to a design that began in 1909 and to a year that many of us still remember clearly. They ask us to slow down even if only for a few seconds and notice what we usually ignore. So the next time you receive a handful of change, do not rush past the pennies. One of them might be from 2001. One of them might still carry original surface. One of them might be waiting for the right pair of eyes to finally see it. What do you think? Have you ever found a 2001 Lincoln Memorial cent that stopped you for a second longer than the rest? Did the date or the condition make you look twice? Drop your story in the comments below. I truly want to know what these little coins have meant to you and whether any of them still sit in a jar or a drawer somewhere in your home. And if this quiet piece of history made you look at everyday change a little differently, stay with me. There are more coins waiting, each with its own hidden weight, its own forgotten light, and its own reason to keep watching.